Welcome to Before the Council, a reading of the Revere City Council agenda for the meeting of Monday, May 4th, 2015. There are 10 items on the agenda this week. Coverage begins at 4:30 p.m. with the Appointments Subcommittee meeting, chaired by Councilor Arthur F. Guanasso. Also includes Councilors Jessica Giannino, Stephen Morabito, Charles J. Patch Sr., and Stephen Reardon. They have 21 appointments to consider. 1. Reappointment of ARM Construction of Revere, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 2. The reappointment of J. Marchese and Sons, Incorporated of Everett, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 3. The reappointment of R. Sasso and Sons, Incorporated of Revere, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 4. Reappointment of C.J. Doherty, Incorporated of Medford, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 5. The reappointment of E.B. Rotondi and Sons, Incorporated of Stoneham, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 6. Reappointment of J.J. O'Brien and Sons, Incorporated, Waltham, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 7. The reappointment of Mercurio Brothers Landscaping, Incorporated, Revere, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 8. Reappointment of LaMountain Brothers Incorporated, Oxford, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 9. Reappointment of J&A Contracting Services Incorporated of Chelsea, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 10. Reappointment of GeoSearch Incorporated, Fitchburg, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 11. Reappointment of Menino Construction Company Incorporated, Lynn, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 12. Reappointment of CRL Incorporated of Medford, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 13. The appointment of Pelletier and Millbury Corporation of Danvers, Massachusetts as a licensed drain layer. 14. The reappointment of Mr. Michael Slomich of Revere, Massachusetts as a constable. 15. The reappointment of Mr. Anthony Peroni of Revere, Massachusetts to the Revere Resident Monitoring Committee. 16. The reappointment of Mr. Michael A. Bonanno, Jr., Revere, Massachusetts to the Cultural Council. 17. The reappointment of Ms. Denise M. Anderson of Revere, Massachusetts to the Cultural Council. 18. The reappointment of Ms. Lori Giardella, Nahant, Massachusetts to the Cultural Council. 19. The reappointment of Mr. Paul R. Genzio of Revere, Massachusetts to the Cultural Council. 20. The reappointment of Ms. Carol Haney of Revere, Massachusetts to the Cultural Council. And 21. The reappointment of Ms. Kathleen Heiser of Revere, Massachusetts to the Cultural Council. Please note that in order for an appointment to be confirmed by the full City Council, the appointee must attend the Appointments Subcommittee meeting. At 5 p.m., we move on to the Ways and Means Committee chaired by Councilor Brian M. Arrigo. Also on that committee, Councilors Robert J. Hass Jr., Arthur F. Guanasso, Stephen Morabito, Stephen Reardon, and Anthony T. Zambuto. Their first item is a motion presented by Councilor Arrigo relative to the FY15 budget updates and FY16 and 17 projections. Second, communication from the mayor relative to a transfer request in the amount of $6,910 for the FEMA appeal. And third, the loan order in the amount of $250,000 for the collection system improvements under CWSRF number 3955. At 6 p.m., it's the Revere City Council meeting, which as always begins with a salute to the flag, the roll call of members, and the approval of the journal of the meeting held on April 27th, 2015. Then it's on to calendar item number 1. Pursuant to Council Order 12-022, this is a joint meeting of the utility companies to discuss double polls. Calendar item number 2 under unfinished business. This is a motion filed for reconsideration by Councilor Arrigo relative to an ordinance amendment concerning the expenditure of grants. Dear councilors, I hereby file for reconsideration on Council Order number 15-095 from the meeting of the City Council held on April 27th, 2015. The original motion as it appeared in the City Council on April 27th. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Revere as follows. Section 1, Section 2.12.100, voting on expenditures of the revised ordinance of the City of Revere is hereby amended by inserting the following paragraph. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53A, a vote of the City Council shall be required for the expenditure of any grants exceeding $5,000, with the exception of gifts from the federal government, excluding the Revere School Department grants, and from any charitable foundation, private corporation, or any individual, or from the Commonwealth, a county or municipality or agency. Calendar item number 3 is the Appointment Subcommittee report. Calendar item number 4 is the Ways and Means Subcommittee report. Calendar item number 5 is a communication from the mayor relative to the appointment of Meola Construction Corporation of Chelsea, Massachusetts, as a licensed drain layer, dated April 24th, 2015. Dear council members, please be advised that in accordance with the provisions of Title 13, Chapter 13.08, Section 13.08.435 of the revised ordinances of the City of Revere as most recently amended, I hereby request that Ralph Meola, Meola Construction Corporation, Chelsea, Massachusetts, be reappointed as a licensed drain layer. Please take careful notice that all drain layer licenses expire on April 1st annually, unless sooner revoked by the mayor and the council. Mr. Meola has been advised that he will be contacted directly by the Appointment Subcommittee with a date and time to appear before them concerning this appointment. Very truly yours, Daniel Rizzo, Mayor. Calendar item number 6. This is a communication from the mayor requesting a residency waiver for Mr. Roland Baldassari of Saugus, Massachusetts, for the position of call taker at the police department, dated April 29th, 2015. Dear councilors, pursuant to the revised ordinances of the City of Revere, Title II, Chapter 2.06, Section 2.06.060B, I am writing to request a waiver of the residency rule for the call taker position in the Revere Police Department. The position will be filled by Mr. Ronald Baldassari, who resides in Saugus, Massachusetts. Accordingly, I respectfully request that the City Council grant such waiver. Very truly yours, Daniel Rizzo, Mayor. Calendar item number 7. This is a communication from the mayor requesting a residency waiver for Ms. Janis Van Heukelom of Malden, Massachusetts, for the position of Junior Library Assistant, dated May 1st, 2015. Dear councilors, pursuant to the revised ordinances of the City of Revere, Title II, Chapter 2.06, Section 2.06.060B, I am writing to request a waiver of the residency rule for the Junior Library Assistant position in the Revere Library. The position will be filled by Ms. Janis Van Heukelom, who resides in Malden, Massachusetts. Accordingly, I respectfully request that the City Council grant such waiver. Very truly yours, Daniel Rizzo, Mayor. Calendar item number 8. Pursuant to Council Order 15-102, this is a motion presented by Councilor Powers that the mayor requests the DCR to replace the missing lamp post in the area of Lancaster Avenue and the Lynnway. Calendar item number 9. Pursuant to Council Order 15-103, this is a motion presented by Councilor Powers that the mayor requests the Suffolk County Work Crew to clean the area around Mills Avenue jug handle. Calendar item number 10. Pursuant to Council Order 15-104, this is a motion presented by Councilor Patch that the following ordinance amendment be ordered to a public hearing. Be it ordained by the City of Revere as follows. Section 1, Title 6, Animal Control of the revised ordinances of the City of Revere is hereby amended by deleting Chapter 6.04 generally in its entirety and inserting in place thereof the following new chapters and sections. Chapter 6.01, Regulation of Dogs. 6.01.010, Authority and Purpose. 6.01.020, Restraint of Dogs, Leash Law. 6.01.030, Impoundment. 6.01.040, removal and proper disposal of dog feces. 6.01.050, prohibited behavior. 6.01.060, confinement or muzzling. 6.01.070, penalties and enforcement. 6.01.080, non-waiver of statutory remedies. 6.01.090, license period. 6.01.100, license required, rabies vaccination. 6.01.110, license fees. 6.01.120, charge for lost tags. 6.01.130, kennel fees and kennel licenses. 6.01.140, kennel inspections. 6.01.150, collection and disposition of fees. And 6.01.160, penalty and enforcement. Chapter 6.02, regulation of non-domesticated animals. 6.02.010, non-domesticated, defined. 6.02.020, non-domesticated, keeping and transporting. And 6.02-030, non-domesticated animals displayed for public entertainment or amusement. Chapter 6.01, regulation of dogs. 6.01.010, authority and purpose. This article is adopted pursuant to the authority of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 140, Section 136A to 137A, inclusive, and any other relevant statutes and regulations promulgated pursuant thereto. The purpose of this chapter is to establish regulations for the keeping of dogs in the city of Revere. The definition of all words and terms used herein shall be set forth in Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 140, Section 136A to 137A. 6.01.020, restraint of dogs, leash law. The owner, keeper, or person otherwise in control of a dog shall not suffer or allow it to run at large on any of the streets or public places in the city, or upon the premises of any such person, other than the owner or keeper, unless the owner or occupant of such premises grants permission. Under no circumstances shall a dog, even on a leash, be on private property of another, unless specific permission has been granted. No dog shall be permitted in any public street or place within the city unless it is effectively restrained by a chain or leash not exceeding 8 feet in length. 6.01.030, impoundment. Included within his or her authority to impound a dog, the animal control officer has the authority to impound a dog found running at large in violation of Section 6.01.020. The animal control officer, upon apprehending any dog, shall make a complete registry, enter the breed, color, and sex of such dog, its license number, and the name and address of the owner, if known. If the owner of the impounded dog is known, such owner shall be given notice of the impounding. Such owner may reclaim the dog upon payment of a $100 administrative fee to the City of Revere Police Department, together with any unpaid license fees, late fees, and fines, as well as the reasonable costs incurred by the city for impounding and maintaining the dog. 6.01.040, removal and proper disposal of dog feces. The owner, keeper, or person otherwise in control of a dog shall immediately pick up and properly dispose of any feces left by such dog on any street, sidewalk, or public area, or on any private property that is not owned or occupied by such person. Any person who takes a dog onto a street, sidewalk, or other public place shall carry a container, tool, implement, or other device to be used for picking up and containing dog feces, and the person shall dispose of said dog feces in a designated receptacle or otherwise properly. 6.01.050, prohibited behavior. The owner, keeper, or person otherwise in control of a dog shall not cause or permit the dog, A, to be unrestrained as required by Section 6.01.020, B, to be unlicensed when a license is required by law, C, to be without current license and rabies vaccination tags when off the owner's property, D, to bite, physically injure, assault, or threaten any person without legally recognized justification or provocation. E, to bite or physically injure any domestic animal without legally recognized justification or provocation. F, to chase any motorist, bicyclist, or pedestrian on any public way, street, or sidewalk, or in any public place. G, to be off the property where the dog resides, if subject to a confinement order. H, to be off the property where the dog resides, unmuzzled if subject to a muzzle order. I, to disturb the peace and quiet enjoyment of any residential neighborhood by continuous or repeated barking, yelping, howling, or whining without legal justification. Or J, to be present on school or cemetery property. 6.01.060, confinement or muzzling. The chief of police or his designee may order a dog confined to the premises where it resides or to other premises, or to be muzzled when off said premises if he finds, after a hearing, that the dog has A, bitten, physically injured, or assaulted any person without legally recognized justification or provocation. B, bitten or physically injured any domestic animal without legally recognized justification or provocation. C, chased any motorist, bicyclist, or pedestrian on any public way, street, or sidewalk, or in any public place on at least 2 occasions. Said order may be in addition to or in lieu of any other fine authorized by Section 6.01.070. Nothing in this section shall preclude the Chief of Police from utilizing the procedure contained in Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 140, Section 57, as amended by Chapter 193 of the Legislative Acts of 2012, to determine that a dog is a nuisance dog or a dangerous dog, and from employing one or another of the remedies specified in that statute. 6.01.070, penalties and enforcement. The owner, keeper, and/or person otherwise in control of a dog shall be subject to a fine for each violation of this title as follows. A, for a violation of Section 6.01.050 D or E. 1, first offense $100, second offense $200, third and subsequent offense $300. B, for all other violations of Section 6.01.050, first offense $50, second offense $100, third and subsequent offense $150. C, for a violation of Section 6.01.040, first offense in any calendar year, $25. Second offense in any calendar year, $50. Third and subsequent offense in any calendar year, $75. In the case of a continuing offense, each day shall constitute a separate violation. 6.01.080, non-waiver of statutory remedies. The provisions of this title are intended to be in addition to and not in lieu of those contained in Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 140, Section 136A and following, as amended by Chapter 193 of the Legislative Acts of 2012. Nothing contained in this title shall deprive the city from employing the remedies provided in these sections, including, but not limited to, disposition of a dog found to be dangerous dog or a nuisance dog as provided in Section 157 of Chapter 140 as amended. To the maximum extent possible, the provisions of this title shall be deemed to be consistent with and or supplemental to those contained in Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 140, as provided in Section 173 and 173A as amended. 6.01.090, license period. Any person owning, harboring, or having custody, that is, keeper or control of a dog, shall license said dog annually for the period beginning January 1st of each year. Renewal of licenses must be obtained by March 15th of the following year. If a dog remains unlicensed after March 15th, the owner shall pay the sum of $15 in addition to the original license fee. 6.01.100, license required, rabies vaccination. The owner or keeper of a dog 6 months old or over shall cause it to be registered, numbered, described, and licensed with the city clerk. Proof of rabies vaccination shall be shown at the time of issuing the license. 6.01.110 License fees. Fees for licenses shall, except as otherwise provided, be as follows. A. $10 for every spayed or neutered dog. B. $25 for every intact or unspayed or unneutered dog. C. $25 for every spayed or neutered dog paid after March 15th. D. $40 for every intact, unspayed, or unneutered dog paid after March 15th. E. There shall be no licensing fee for service dogs as defined by the Americans with Disabilities Act or regulations promulgated thereunder. And F. Proof of spaying or neutering shall be shown at the time of licensing. 6.01.120 Charge for lost tags. The charge for replacing lost dog tags shall be $5. 6.01.130 Kennel licenses and fees. The fee for each kennel license shall be as follows. $40 for kennels with 4 dogs or less, $80 for kennels with 5 to 10 dogs, $150 for kennels with 11 or more but not more than 25 dogs, and $250 for kennels with 26 dogs or more. 6.01.140 Kennel inspections. Regular kennel inspections shall be conducted no less than twice each year by the Animal Control Officer. 6.01.150 Collection and disposition of fees. The city clerk shall issue dog licenses, collect the appropriate fees, and turn all monies over to the treasurer's office on a regular basis. 6.01.160 Penalty and enforcement. The police chief and his designee, including the Animal Control Officer and any Revere police officer, shall have authority to enforce the provisions of this title. Any alleged violation of this ordinance may, in the sole discretion of the enforcing agent, be made the subject matter of non-criminal disposition proceedings commenced by such agent in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40, Section 21D. Chapter 6.02 Regulation of non-domesticated animals. 6.01.160 Non-domesticated defined. For the purpose of this chapter, the words non-domesticated animal include any animal which by its very nature is considered ferocious or which in its original or natural state could be considered wild, however tame it may be presently, or by its nature is an animal which is not ordinarily kept or considered as a household pet. The term shall exclude, for the purposes of this chapter, all dogs, house cats, canaries, parrots, parakeets, and the like, tropical fish of the non-carnivorous family, hamsters, white mice, and white rats. It is unlawful for any person to keep or have under their care, custody, or control, either as owner or otherwise, any live chicken, rooster, duck, geese, poultry, or fowl of any kind whatsoever. Any person violating the provisions of this section shall be fined $100 for the first offense and $300 for each offense thereafter. 6.01.161 Non-domesticated, keeping and transporting. A. No person shall keep on his property or the property of others any non-domesticated animal without first having obtained a license issued by the Board of Health of the city, which board shall have the right of inspection at all reasonable times of the premises where such non-domesticated animals are kept, and shall establish from time to time reasonable regulations relative to the care, maintenance, and control of such animals. B. No person shall transport within the city any non-domesticated animal without first having obtained a license from the Board of Health of the city for such transport. The Board of Health shall establish from time to time reasonable regulations relative to the transportation of such non-domesticated animals. 6.01.162 Non-domesticated animals displayed for public entertainment or amusement. A. No living animal shall be displayed for public entertainment or amusement on property owned by the city of Revere, on city-owned property under lease or on private property, excluding competitive arena sports and exhibits deemed educational by the Massachusetts Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. B. No captive animal shall be forced to live out of its natural environment, separated from its own species, and displayed to the public in any exploitive manner. And this has been before the Council, a reading of the Revere City Council agenda. For the meeting of Monday, May 4th, 2015, I'm Rick Promise, and I'll see you at the Council.